Thank you. Thank you. I know you said so at home, too. Thank you so much. As we speak about love today, after all, it is the month of love, Valentine's Day, American Heart Association says so. Charles Fillmore, the co-founder of Unity, says so. But I want to share a thought about love that predates all of that. There is an ancient Egyptian inscription dating back to 3550 BC. If thou be among people, make for thyself love the beginning and the end of the heart. The beginning and the end of your emotions, your feelings, your human nature, all that we romanticize and idealize about love. And baby, can I fantasize about love? Are you with me? Yes. Yeah, of course. We all can. I mean, Hallmark has made an institution of our idealized ideal of love. From greeting cards to movies, we are steeped in what the human relationship love can be like. But I think this statement goes far beyond that to the beginning and then the ending of our heart, the very center of our being, the truth of who we are, your consciousness. Let that be aligned in love. Let that be steeped and filled and overflowing with love. Humanly, love is one of those things that we think we know something all about. But when we stop to try and explain it, put words around those feelings and emotions, to analyze it and understand it more deeply, it kind of slips through the fingers like quicksilver. The idea of love is a topic we focus on in the spiritual sense in Unity in the month of February here in this community. We have a system within Unity of exploring our spiritual nature, all of those qualities that comprise the energy of God, that field of love that is limitless and spreads throughout the cosmos, an energy, a frequency, a vibration. That's the love we're talking about. And yes, one segment of that is our human romantic love, or the love that's contained within friendship and familial relationships. But that's not the whole of love. The whole of love extends often far beyond what we can get our hands around. This system we have in Unity of exploring our spiritual nature through some specific qualities of God, the Christ idea. Each month we look at one of those qualities and focus on it so that we can deepen our understanding of it, so we can take it on as who we are, and so we can live from that rather than our only human thinking. We call this system the 12 powers. And the month of February we honor the power of love. And it's more than looking to this human understanding, the romantic ideal, and it's more even than looking at Jesus as the representative of pure love and simply being somebody we would worship. Indeed, we worship Jesus and the other great masters. As we spoke of, we honor many paths to God here, but we're clear about what we teach. And it's up to each of us to discern how we take on these lessons, how we shape our life with these tools. Because I believe this observation of what are the qualities of God and our monthly power, that's a spiritual toolkit for us to understand how we are also imbued with this same energy through which Jesus lived so effectively on the planet. He was not some great exception, but he was the great example for each one of us. And when we look at that, we strive to take on these teachings and the wisdom of Jesus, this gentleman who was truly our elder brother, one who could guide us in living effectively, surviving sometimes the tortuous experiences of being human and showing us a path, a positive path for right thinking and right action to guide our lives. We strive to embed this pattern, this template of these spiritual qualities into our own life to become as much of the Christ in expression as we can in our life. So we explore this each month, and we try to take baby steps toward a deeper understanding that carries us past the point where we are on any given day into some greater stretch, into this understanding of love. And so love, particularly in the human experience, I think of as the PhD of spiritual work. Now, raise your hand if you've had some interesting learning and growth experiences through the love relationships in your life. Yes, that's the human experience. We know what that's like. And yet we desire it, we want it, we follow after it. And sometimes we fail miserably at it. But the good news is we are always in the process. This is an innate quality within us to seek love. And it's innate to express this power of love. We are in the journey of from kindergarten to that PhD level in our spiritual powers, especially that of love. So as we focus on this ideal this month, let's look at what love is. It's much more than this heart-stirring, gives you butterflies in your stomach, makes chills run up and down your spine, although that's a lovely piece of it. But it is much more an aspect of the dominion we spoke of in Daily Word, an energy, a frequency that literally creates the cosmos through its movement, through our energizing and connecting to this aspect of God, this presence of love. The first time I walked into a Unity church, that was a structure that looked just exactly like the Presbyterian church I had grown up in. High-pitched roof, and there was a balcony, a second floor, choir loft kind of space. And when you went to the front of the sanctuary and looked back toward the back, on the wall or on the front of the balcony were the words, "God is love." Now that's about as pure a description of God as I can conjure. Oh, I'm pretty good at coming up and sharing lots of things with you, either here on Sundays or in class. But if we can get the concept of love being more than what we have a limited experience of in our human lives, if we can stretch into this expansive, unlimited vibration that is God, then we truly empower the creative activity in our life, the transformative process within our life, the redemption, the redeeming, the doing over of all that we might find less than perfect within us. Charles Fillmore called love the greatest harmonizing activity in the universe. That love has this capacity to heal, to restore, to regenerate anything that has gone off the rails in our lives. And I don't know about you, but as a human, I seem to be very well equipped at making a big mess in my life. And the way to recover from the messes that we have created or fallen into is this power of love. It will heal relationships. It will restore your own sanity when you think you've lost it. It will put you on the right path to creating the life you choose. There is this great Buddhist teaching that says, never blame anyone in your life. Good people give you happiness. Bad people give you experience. Part of that PhD program of spiritual work. The worst people give you a lesson, and the best people give you memories. And all of that, even the bad and the worst, can be transformed and are created through this power of love. So that beautiful affirmation that Reverend Johanna shared, you are the gift. And it is your gift to the world to spread this energy of love. Whatever we are, whatever comes through us as a gift from God, we are meant to move outwardly in the world. Not only to receive it so that we can be transformed, but because we are called to service to transform the world. To give the gifts we have into the space that makes others light shine, just as ours can. I often like to begin with the words of the master teacher because there is no other place to begin. Jesus spoke in Matthew 7, verse 12, a passage that has come to be reflected in the golden rule. You know, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Well, his words went like this: do for others what you would want them to do for you. This is the meaning of the law of Moses and the teaching of the prophets. Some translations say this is the law and the prophets. Well, what law? That original wisdom that came from God to Moses and is recorded in the Torah, the first 5 chapters of the Bible. And the prophets, a number of books that follow with, guys' names, ancient guys' names, Isaiah, Ezekiel, on and on. Those were wisdom lessons. All of those books of the Bible carry great messages for our ability to live in right thinking and right action. I like a lot of the different Bible translations on this one. Treat other people exactly as you would like to be treated by them. This is the essence of all true religions. And all true religions have reflected this idea that we call the golden rule, that there is this reciprocal way to live through the power of love with one another, that what I desire is close to what you desire. But if I am able to give to you what feels good to me, what is kind and compassionate and loving to me, then my intention of that carries to you. Literally, this golden rule shows up in some scriptural passage in all major religions. In Buddhism, it's reflected by this passage: do not offend others as you would not want to be offended. Judaism, in the Talmud, books of instruction and rules for effective living, also record this possibility: what is hateful to you, do not do to your neighbor. This is the whole Torah, and the rest is commentary. Doesn't that render it so simple? If we stopped with our ability to reflect love to one another and our ability to open and receive love from God, from other human beings, it doesn't take anything else to change our lives and to change the world. Oh, yes, there are lots of other things we can do. That's the commentary. That's the footnotes. That's all the other voices. But there's nothing more powerful than our ability to shape life through this open-hearted, open-minded, full being essence of love shared in the world. The Prophet Muhammad said, "None of you are true believers until you love your brother what you love for yourself." Ancient China, Confucianism. Is there one word which can serve as a guiding principle for conduct throughout life? Confucius said, it is the word altruism. Do not do to others what you would not want them to do to you. Sikhism, which is a form of Hinduism, its leader said, I am a stranger to no one, and no one is a stranger to me. When we greet one another, indeed, in that space, knowing no one is a stranger, that's employing the power of love and being a friend to all. Taoism said, regard your neighbor's gain as your own gain and your neighbor's loss as your own loss. Native American Aboriginal spirituality, through the voice of Chief Dan George, we are much alive as we keep the earth alive. How far can we extend this power of love? Receiving it first to ourselves, our own heart, our own mind, stretching into that understanding to indeed generate and restore and enliven the relationships we have, but then push beyond that in our understanding past the boundaries of our human experience, our romantic ideal, into the kind of love that shapes the cosmos, changes who we are for the good, and has the power to affect that change in the world. All of these verses are like a strand of pearls. The golden rule in whatever faith expression is like the string on which the pearls are threaded. And each faith practice adds a pearl to the string. And when they hang comfortably as an adornment, and we steep ourselves in these central ideas, what a beautiful path to peace. If we saw one another from the basis of commonality, from the basis that every single faith has this central idea of regard and respect, the highest expression of love. It really can be helpful when we get down to the real nitty-gritty about who we will be and how we will be, utilizing this infinite power of love. The unity movement has worked for years to get past all of the isms of religiosity, its own included, and to fully express this idea that we honor all the paths to God. We can see the truth in all systems, even as we know very clearly what we teach and who we are and how we are called to serve. This honoring all the paths to God is a historical notion for unity, that all are welcome here. We didn't start out as a church. We started out as a prayer movement. Another common thread in all faiths, this knowing that we are called into some kind of relationship with the infinite, with the divine, that energy is the heart of our very own being, the seed of truth within us. And as we call on that, embrace the teachings of our founders, of our way shower Jesus, then we can employ this infinite power of love for good in our lives and in the world. Getting beyond those things that separate us, seeing only the common threads, the golden threads that string us together in humanity. But that nitty-gritty, there's a translation in the Bible by a gentleman named Eugene Peterson. And he tells it kind of just like it is. I like often his touch because the verses are a call to action. They equip us to see how we employ this spiritual wisdom, how we can take on these qualities, the understanding that Jesus had, and live from that same depth. We can call ourselves back to it whenever we have spiritual amnesia moments. So Mr. Peterson, in the Message translation, giving these words to Jesus, here is a simple rule of thumb guide for behavior. Ask yourself what you want people to do for you. Then grab that initiative and do it for them. Add up God's law and prophets, and this is what you get. So simple. This is what you get. The result of all the ancient wisdom of God, the laws of Moses, the laws of spiritual truth, and the wisdom recorded in the voices of the prophets, they are all moving us to this one same point, the power of love to influence who we are, change, and allow us to shape ourselves to what God sees in us and allow us to carry those gifts into the world. The practice of divine love. That's how we get from Scripture to teachings to living it in our life. Because isn't that what we're after? The print on the page of the Bible or any spiritual book is not the end of the story. Our ability to live in that moment. When we are confronted with a best friend or a partner that just sort of is aggravating everything right out of us, getting on our last nerve, can we say, where is the common place we stand? Can I put myself with empathy, with understanding into that person's thought process? Can I see beyond the unlovely behavior that might show up in any given moment in our lives from another? Can I remember this power of love before I open my own mouth and become unlovely in my behavior? Oh, please, God, save me from that every moment. Let what comes out of my mouth be a representation of this infinite creative power of love. Even Martin Luther King often spoke to the presence and the power of love. He called it the most creative force in the universe. Creative, redemptive, and transformative. It was a power that infused the cosmos with light and energy and truth. It was the code of the moral cosmos. And that when we are being loving, we are participating in the beingness of God. When we exude and demonstrate this love that Jesus understood, we are calling ourselves into this knowing that we live as the image and likeness of God. Not the white beard, the crown, or the throne in the sky, the big staff by which he might smite you. No, this energy of love that shifts and moves through us and influences the world around us. Let us stand in that presence of love. Take the initiative and give love life through us in grand and glorious ways, in small gestures. Every moment, let us live the essence of love. I invite us to take a deep breath into that space that is alive with God in the heart of our being. If you choose, close your eyes. Breathe in deeply. Exhale completely. And allow your breath to then find a normal rhythm, soft, gentle, easy. Place your attention on your heart, the center of who you are, both in physicality, the organ that pumps life through us, and some say the very seat of God within our energy field and our physical being. Imagine that each breath passes through your heart and you exhale out through your heart, this filter of God, clarifying and purifying the energizing life of breath moving through you. And to center deeply in this sense of love, this thing that we find hard to define, but boy, do we know it when it has come to us. In this space of soft breath in and out through your heart, bring a thought of someone to mind or see them in your inner vision. Something, a memory, beloved pet. Whatever the thought or the vision is, let it be something that centers you deeply in the spirit of gratitude, a grateful heart, this loving space that wants to flow over and out from the centered place of you. Let that feeling of gratitude, perhaps warmth, perhaps something like gentle bubbles, move out from your heart through your whole physical space and your whole energy field that surrounds you. Feel how sweet that is. Know that this is the essence of God alive in you. And in this space of understanding this true aspect of your own being, opening your heart and mind, ask this infinite wisdom within you, the source of unlimited intelligence. How is love guiding me today? Is there something in my life that wants to be healed? Oh, let this warmth, this generating essence of God flow into and over you and receive that healing. Allow that energy of love to be a creative movement within you that inspires the next direction you are moving in your life, that allows harmony in all things, your work environment, your home relationships, your friendships, the truth of what is in your life that maybe isn't comfortable. Seek to be in the presence of love, to know how to move more gracefully in every piece of your life. Allow yourself to know that you possess everything that Jesus came into this life with. All you have to release, all you have to do to touch that is to release those things that are in the way of that perfect expression, perfect wisdom, perfect understanding. Know that the movement of God in you is the movement of love. It heals everything when we open ourselves to this knowing. It can heal illness. It can heal injury. It can heal harm. It can heal wounded relationships. It can move in the fullness of God for everything in your life. I am open to this movement of God as love in me. And I know I am called to let my life shine. Let's center in the silence and let our light shine.